with COVID, we lost, what you lost in the office setting was you lost people sitting next to each other, being able to troubleshoot a problem together. And so part of that solution is you needed to simplify the experience for both my teams so that they could work more quickly, but simplify the experience for all of your users. Ultimately, our goal is to have 1 or 2 stops for an employee to be able to get all the information that they need from all these disparate systems and be able to request something and have it go to all the disparate teams in the disparate systems without needing to get everybody in a room or on a call to do that. It's not just about making sure the 2 systems can talk to each other. It's a lot of business process that happens in between 2 systems that can be automated, from being able to kick off an email automatically to loading lists and doing the transformations to pushing approvals between systems. Our biggest focus is making sure that we're scalable. And so as we grow, we want to make sure that we have the pieces in place that not only allow us to continue to grow, but give us the option to identify additional places that we could digitalize or additional areas that we could automate, so that we're not limited by a process or a system or a data load. Like, those are the things that are really, that really increase your technical debt. As we were looking at software and vetting, a lot of it became like, what's the user experience in order to develop on this? How can we democratize this across multiple areas? And so a lot of the savings comes in being able to use a piece of functionality widely across the company and not bottlenecking it through a department or a very specific set of developers in order to manage it. The driving pieces were really ease of use, cost, and then ability to adopt it outside of that initial enterprise applications team. Your time isn't spent figuring out how to integrate into these applications. Your time spent actually working on what's the logic of the integration, what's the transformation that you need to do. The second piece is that it's intuitive. So the ramp up time to get a developer active and able to use it, or a business user or a business analyst is much shorter. So we have more people active and able to develop with this than we would, which in essence shortens the timeline of how we're able to turn things around, because we have more physical bodies able to actually do work. So we end up far less bottlenecked at the development place than we would be in the past. There's always going to be changes in business process that have occurred, or data. The ability for us to quickly address those, because the development tool is intuitive, it's easy to go in and manage, and it's easy for a developer or a business analyst who's using it to be able to open that recipe and understand what's happening, so they can make a very pointed change without it being in a coding language that you need someone specific to do, has been astronomically helpful, and just the way that we're able to turn things around in a much faster time. For me, there's 2 things that are really proving out to be pretty successful with it. The first is the development timeline. So in larger, very complex integrations, the turnaround time is shorter than what we would have experienced when we were developing on MuleSoft. And the second is the remediation and upkeep is very easy. Moving to Workato saves us about $100,000 annually. So it's a pretty significant savings. The price is attractive. The ability to control by recipe is a pretty easy way to manage your budget. You know exactly what you're going to spend. You know what type of pieces you're going to be putting in the next quarter, the next year. So you're able to pretty easily predict what your costs are going to be going forward. You're not worried about how much usage needs to run through them.